Okay, you should be able to hear and see me, and we'll be getting started in just about 5 minutes here. So make sure that you log into the chat window below. Just use Facebook or Twitter so that we can communicate with each other and you can ask questions as they come up for you. And we'll be getting started in just a few minutes. So take a moment to say hi and let me know who you are, where you are, and a little bit about you and your business. Yesterday, I see that you are logged in. Hi, how are you? Let's see, we've got Megan and Katie who have both just logged in. Things by Laura as well. So if you have any issues today with, the video, the chat, anything, they can all be pretty much fixed with the universal rule of fixing things on the internet, which is just refresh the page. Okay, we'll be getting started in just a few minutes here. Oh, Renee, you're making me jealous. I'm moving to San Diego this summer. I don't know exactly when, but I'm very much looking forward to that, being able to be outside every day. We've got Katie Keene, who's an independent wedding celebrant in Kent. Diane Roca, who is in San Francisco. She's a certified wedding and events planner and co-owner of Audio Ecstasy Event Sound and Lighting. Cool. So two different sort of skill sets there, but obviously both feeding in to doing weddings. We've got Laura Reed, wedding crafter based in London. Jacqueline, who's trying to figure out what niche to get into with this whole event planning thing. Great to see you here, Jacqueline. Megan Howes, a wedding planner in South Africa and the UK. Oh, that's cool. I bet you get to plan some awesome and beautiful events. So much diversity in that scenery. And if you haven't already, and I see we have quite a few people on who have not, just make sure that you log in. Towards the bottom of the chat window, you'll see an option to log in. And you can use either your Facebook account or your Twitter account, doesn't really matter. And that way, you will be able to ask questions and communicate with us. So we have Rebecca Raymond, a florist in Seattle, on a little island called Vashon. Am I saying that right? Kenesha Raymond. Kenesha, nice to see you. Hope everything's going well planning WedTech out in San Francisco. Renee, that sounds like a plan. Let's do it. I think I'm just going to live outside when I'm in San Diego. Like, no, I don't want to go in. We have Sean Boron, who is a wedding consultant in Hampshire. Kanisha Raymond, who is a wedding magazine editor and chief editor. Oh, I don't know why that threw me off. A wedding magazine editor in chief and wedding designer from San Francisco. And I see we have a few more people joining us. Shatasha and lots more people who haven't logged in. So be sure that you sign in with either your Facebook or your Twitter account so that you can ask questions. And I'm going to be keeping an eye on this chat as we move through the webinar today. Shatasha is a wedding planner in Atlanta, Georgia. Cool. So we've got people from all over the place right now. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think you are really going to enjoy this, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it. So, what do you say we get started? So today, we're talking about how to find hidden money in your business and start making more money in less time. And all of us, whether we realize it or not, are definitely sitting on some hidden money that you haven't quite tapped into in your business yet. So I have a question for you. What if you could make more money in your business without actually putting in more hours and burning yourself out? Can you imagine that? Like, what would that be like for you? And is it even something that you've thought about as conceivably possible? Or have you always thought, in order to make more money, I have to work more hours? So let me know in the chat. There's a little bit of a delay. I'm using Google Hangouts today. So there is a short delay between the time I'm actually saying this and the time you're hearing it. It's about like 10 seconds. But yeah, so if it just seems like I've asked something and you're responding and I'm not getting back to you, that's why, just so you know. So let me know in the chat, what would this be like for you? Is it something that you've even put any thought into? Because we definitely operate in a world that is very much about having a job, and with a job, you exchange your time for money. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat for your answers, but I'm going to move ahead and let you know what you're going to learn today. So you're going to learn why relying on exchanging your time for money, and only your time for money, is dangerous, and how to build in some financial stability for yourself. You'll learn why so many people start their businesses and then just end up building this really demanding, low-paying job instead of building this lucrative business that they had envisioned. You'll learn how to find the hidden money that already exists in your business and tap into it. And you'll learn how other people are making money without working more hours, and how really you can do this too. So a little bit about me in case we haven't met before. My name is Heidi Thompson, and I run evolveyourweddingbusiness.com. And I help wedding professionals like you with their marketing. And I'm also very passionate about helping you work smarter. So a little bit of how did I even get to where I am to be able to talk to you about this today? As you can probably hear from my voice, I'm definitely American. And it's funny, I get comments on that all the time, because when I jump on Skype with somebody, they assume because I live in the UK, I'm going to sound that way. But when I lived in the US, I worked for a couple different nonprofits, one being the American Red Cross. And I worked with them in doing fundraising events. And I absolutely loved organizing events and, doing all the marketing for it and all the prep. And it just worked very well with my logistical mind. So when I saw an internship with a wedding planner, I was like, That might be interesting. So I went and started working with a wedding planner kind of on the side. And I learned a lot about the industry. And I realized while wedding planning is not for me, it's way too much stress for me. And I give you guys credit big time. It really was the marketing of these events as opposed to the organization of these events that I loved. It took me a little while to figure that out. So when I moved to the UK, I worked in a couple different positions as marketing manager, one for Sendable, which is a social media startup, and one at the University of Cambridge, right near where I live. I love marketing. I'm a huge marketing geek, but I kept having this nagging feeling that I really liked the wedding industry and I really missed it. And I knew planning wasn't for me. And I started to look around and with my marketer's brain, noticed that there was this big gap in the market and that what was being sold to couples in things like, your traditional wedding press wasn't at all lining up with what they actually wanted. People wanted something more them, more quirky, more alternative. So I started the Alternative Wedding Fair in London to fill that need. And it was an absolute blast. Again, I got to organize events, I got to market those events. It was awesome. I got to meet incredible suppliers who I then realized were not making anywhere near the amount of money I would have thought that they were making. And it really came down to they didn't know how to market themselves well. So I thought, okay, this is a sign I clearly need to marry the worlds of wedding industry and marketing into Evolve Your Wedding Business. So a little bit of what I've done, some places where I've been featured, Rock and Roll Bride, Book More Brides, Wedding MBA, Planners Lounge, to name a few. I do a lot of guest posting and writing columns for people. So I'm just going to check into the chat real quick to see where we are with everyone. Okay, Claire just made a really good point. I'd love to find a way to do that rather than just spending time working one-on-one, as much as I love to do that. Right, because it's not scalable. Okay, let's keep moving. Again, if you have any questions at all, just pop them in the chat box and I will be checking in with those periodically. So I want to start with the employee mentality. And I'm sure all of you have worked as an employee at some point in time. And really, we are kind of raised to be employees. So if your parents are employees, if the people around you are employees, you see this. You grow up seeing this is what it's like to work. This is the working world. And when you work as an employee, your earnings, unless you're in sales, are directly tied to the hours that you work. It's the reason why people who work full-time make more, well, in theory at least, than people who work part-time because there are more hours that they're putting in. That's not the case when it comes to businesses like ours. You don't have to work more hours to earn more. You just have to create more value. I want to take pause on that for a moment because this is a huge mindset shift. You don't have to work more hours to earn more. You just have to create more value. We'll get into exactly how you do that, but it's incredibly important to understand. So exchanging time for money is often the way wedding businesses work, but it's not the only way to make money in your business. A lot of people don't ever think beyond this, and it can really trap them because it puts a cap on how much you can earn. Because, we all have the same amount of time. It's the one thing that you can never get more of. You have the same amount of time in every week for every week that you will live, and you will run out of time to sell. Also, it's just plain exhausting. and you end up feeling like you're a slave to your business. And I find it hard to believe that anybody started their business to feel that way. And when you don't actively work, you don't earn money in this model. So what if something happens to you? What if you get sick? What if something happens to one of your kids and you have to take time away to take care of them, or a family member? What if you get pregnant? Or, there's a million things that could happen that would cause you to not be able to put in those hours actively. And that is financially insecure, and it's dangerous. Think about that. That is scary stuff. So, when you only have one stream of income, you're essentially putting all of your eggs in one basket. If, let's say, you have a job, if you get fired from that job, or if you can't seem to book any new clients into your planning service or your photography business, you start to get desperate. And I know that feeling, because that's all you have. That's the only way you've given yourself to make money. So instead of putting that kind of stress on yourself, wouldn't you prefer to have other streams of income working in the background for you? How's that sound? Jump into the chat. Megan, yes, I will be sending out a replay. And Kanisha said she thinks she's on the right track hosting a not so bridal show. I like that idea. Yeah, it was great for me. I absolutely loved every minute of it. The reason I stopped running that business was purely for some of the reasons we're going to talk about today. Is a lifestyle thing. It's very important for me to maintain my freedom. And that's actually how I make business decisions. Does this increase my freedom, or does this tie me to something? Does this tie me to a location? Does this tie me to, certain dates where I have to do certain things? All right. So I want to talk about your financial well-being. And any good financial advisor, any good stockbroker, any good financial blog will tell you that financial security comes from diversity. That is the number one rule of investing. You build a diversified portfolio to reduce risk. And you might know this if you have investments. You don't just put all your money in tech, because what happens if there's, another like .com bubble? What happens if there's a real estate bubble? Any industry could change relatively quickly. So you make sure you invest across the board. But if you would do this with your investments, why wouldn't you do the same thing with your income? Now, creating multiple income streams allows you to diversify the various cash flow sources that are coming in. So if one of those dries up, that like working one-on-one with clients to plan their weddings, there are other sources of income to then lessen the loss, make you not go bankrupt, make you not pull your hair out. So you're an entrepreneur, and for that reason, you get to decide how much money you make. And creating multiple streams of income really allows you to give yourself a raise and make money from people who were never going to hire you for your existing service. And I'm going to show you some examples of this. Creating multiple streams of income also allows you to have better control of your time. If there's one thing I hear over and over again from wedding professionals, it's, I don't have time. I know I should do this. I don't have time. It's all about time. So if you want better control of your time, this is what you need to do. No more running yourself into the ground, to go after that one income stream that you have. There's a better way to do this. And your business really doesn't have to be so exhausting. I have a blog post coming out tomorrow about the biggest myth that keeps wedding professionals broke. And it's that if I just work harder, my business will be the success that I want it to be. I'll make more money. Things will be better. No. I mean, yes, hard work is important, but you also have to work smart. You can try digging a ditch with a teaspoon and you can work hard as hell at it, but you're not going to get very far. Now, you're limited by the number of hours you can sell. We've already said that, you only have so much time, and it's not like you can just go somewhere and get more time unless you start building a team to take on some of the work for you, which is definitely an option. And really working in this way of only exchanging time for money is exhausting. It can make you feel like a slave. It can make you hate the thing that you've created because you loved what you were doing, but now it's killing you. It's really no wonder why so many wedding professionals are so damn busy all the time. Your business can support whatever lifestyle you want. It just depends how you structure it, really. So, is the current lifestyle that you have the one that you want? Tell me in the chat. Is this the lifestyle that you want to live? Are you living the lifestyle you want? Because at the end of the day, businesses are there to make us money and help us support ourselves and our families and live the lives that we want while doing the work we love. And if you're not living the life you want, something's got to change. Just get a drink of water here. Oh no, Renee just said, I worked a January 10th wedding with full-on bronchitis. It was not fun. I can imagine that was horrible. I was just sick recently and it was hell. And thankfully I didn't have to do anything like that. Jacqueline, that's a good point. One reason why Jacqueline hasn't committed to planning is because she feels like, well, there are only so many hours in the week. Carol, of course, wants to work less and make more. And Claire says, time is so precious. I would rather spend it with family or my well-being, knowing that I have income flooding in other areas. Cool. So it sounds like we're all on the same page here. I want to talk to you about a survey I ran recently. And you may have been one of the people who responded to this survey. And in this survey, I asked, how many revenue streams do you have in your business right now? And for the purposes of this survey, I defined a revenue stream as a unique way for people to work with you. So for example, if you're a wedding planner and you have 3 different planning packages, that's not 3 revenue streams, that's 1 revenue stream. They're all one-on-one work with planning clients. Now, if you offered one-on-one work with planning clients and you also ran maybe a monthly DIY workshop where people could pay and show up to your workshop, that is 2 revenue streams. So just so we have kind of a clear definition here of what I'm talking about. How many revenue streams do you think that most people said that they had in their business? And these are all wedding professionals, just like you. What do you think their answer was? I'm going to take a minute and let you respond and drink some water. Okay, we've got some great comments here. Sometimes it's close to the lifestyle I want, but a lot of the time that I want, oh, sorry, I don't know why I can't read today. Okay, so Laura says, sometimes it's close to the lifestyle I want, but not quite there yet. Rebecca says she's feeling like she's always spinning her wheels. Full-time job to pay for my family while I work to build my floral business and still have to try to have family time. I totally know how that goes. Janice is tired of inconsistent income. I hear you. Kanisha wants to work less and take vacation. Paper by Charmcat. I've been stuck in the whole time for money thing designing wedding invitations. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to help you out with that. Sean says, not getting enough inquiries at the moment, so time isn't an issue. And that's okay, because you don't have to wait until it's an issue to set yourself up to make sure it doesn't become an issue in the future. Oh, I'm sorry, Carol. That's probably me clicking through that you're hearing. Okay, so it looks like, oh, by the way, you might be hearing a sound in the chat. And if it doesn't sound like me clicking my mouse in the background, if you go into the bottom right-hand corner, the center icon is a like little speaker, and you can click on that to turn off the sound in the chat. So it might be making noises when people add something in the chat. Okay. So it looks like we have a lot of ones, a lot of twos of people thinking, you know, maybe people have one or two, maybe three income streams. Only a couple people have said three. Interesting. Well, let me go back to the presentation and I'll let you know what I found. So I had 134 people who took this survey, all of them wedding professionals that run their own businesses. 37% of them had just one income stream. 31% reported having two income streams. So right there, we're looking at 68% of the people have two or fewer income streams. And I actually went through and got more details from the people saying that they had two income streams. And of that 31%, only 11 of those individuals with two or more income streams had income streams that do not rely on exchanging time for money. That is only 13%. I knew it was going to be low because I know this is an issue. I did not think it was going to be quite that low. So the rest of the 134 people surveyed only exchanged time for money. So they may have various income streams, but it's purely based on time for money. So I want to give you some examples, and I think that you probably get the point. This is really important for the growth of your business and your profitability and your lifestyle and your financial well-being and not kind of everything. So I want to give you some inspiration and ideas. So let's have a look at how other people have done this in their businesses. So this first one is awesome. I love this. This is a site called Wedding Cake Academy, and it was created by my awesome friend and client, Jacqueline Campbell. Now, Jacqueline runs Ivory and Rose Cake Company. Jacqueline is a cake maker. And she went through my book, More Weddings Academy. I've grown to know her very well. And I know that really the reason behind her creating this was not only realizing that she could only do so many cakes and she was only willing to work with, you know, certain kinds of styles. She had her style set. She wanted to do what she wanted to do at the price that she wanted to do it at. Fair enough. But there are going to be plenty of people who aren't going to book you for that reason. Now, what do you do about that? What do you do about the DIY crowd? Well, you could start something like Wedding Cake Academy. And Wedding Cake Academy is a it's a series of different online courses that actually take you step by step with Jacqueline through how to make a couple. She has a couple different cakes on there right now. I'm sure she'll be adding to it, but she takes you through everything. So if you know you want to make your own cake, if your mom really wants to make your cake, great. Just pay Jacqueline for the course and she'll show you exactly how to do it. And the great thing about this is that anybody can come to Wedding Cake Academy at any time and sign up for a course and get started. It doesn't rely on Jacqueline actively having to respond to an inquiry about something or, run a physical class. It's all done. The videos are there. You just go in and learn. And we have Tofurious. And if you are a photographer, you'll probably be familiar with this site. And this is just a screenshot from their products and services page because they have a lot going on actually. Now, these are 3 different products that they offer, about 3 different things that appeal to photographers, the people they serve. So we have search engine optimization for photographers, pricing and packaging, and building trust, creating a marketing campaign that builds trust. These are 3 different ebooks, and he also has courses, and he has WordPress plugins and themes, and he does offer consulting, but it is very expensive. I believe it's several $100s per session, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say it's like $200 or $300 because he can make money in other ways. So if he was relying purely on people booking him to consult with him, well, first of all, not only are everyone, they're just not going to be able to afford it, or they're not going to be willing to spend that kind of money, which is fine. He can offer them something as well. And once these products are done, they're done. And I can tell you, as someone that runs a course, from the back end, like the tech side of things, you just kind of set this up as, you have your click to buy now, and then the person checks out, and then they're automatic sent whatever it is that you're selling them. Maybe it's an ebook, maybe it's the first module of a course, but all of this can be set up to make your life very easy. The next one, let's see if Sandy is here. I don't see her. Okay, so Sandy is another awesome client of mine who is an officiant, and she runs her business in a really cool way. So it isn't just her. She has built out a network of other officiants that she funnels business to, almost sort of like an agency model. And what makes sense for that sort of business is for people to come to her to learn how to be an officiant. So she offers this course on her site. And again, it's the same thing. You can purchase it at any time. She doesn't need to be there. And it's delivered to you automatically through the magic that is the internet. And she can make money off of that in her sleep. As somebody who has personally gotten PayPal notifications in the middle of the night, woken up and seen them, I can tell you that feeling is amazing. Let me have a quick look in the chat here. Megan says she feels like she's burning the candle at both ends, with the view that more time spent will mean more money made. Isn't working for you. Good, because it doesn't work. I love my job, but I feel like I'm married to it. I hear that a lot, actually. My family never get all of me because I'm constantly thinking about what I should be doing in my business. Yeah, the wedding cake DIY thing is very, very smart. and she's doing quite well with it. Laura, I'm glad you brought that up. And because you did, I'll address it now. So, the whole idea of giving away your secrets, right? The secret sauce. Laura just said, I like this idea, but I'm always worried about giving away my secrets. I did a fair at the weekend and got the impression that a lot of people were planning on DIYing similar things to mine, and they were snapping pictures of my stand, which is fine. You'll never persuade them to pay you, but I don't know how to offer something like this without showing people how to make your things. Laura, we live in a world where you can find out how to do anything at the click of a button. There are no secrets. None whatsoever, except for maybe like the Coca-Cola recipe, which I don't think anybody cares about. There's nothing that you can't figure out how to do online. And furthermore, you can sell to these people who want to do things themselves. There are always going to be people who want to do things themselves. There are always going to be people who want things done for them. Let me ask you this. You know how to cook, I'm assuming, as an adult human being. Does that stop you from going to restaurants? Because if it doesn't, then that's the point right there. Sometimes you want someone else to do it. Sometimes you want something you just can't get yourself. And even with the DIY people, sometimes they want to be taught. Jacqueline just asked a good question. I've thought of these ideas, but what makes me so awesome that I could do this and have someone pay? Well, that sounds like a really good mindset question. What is it that you can do that other people can't do? Now, I'm not saying that nobody can do, but let's face it. We all have things that we know how to do very well that other people don't know how to do at all. And you can make money from that. You don't have to be the best, smartest, most incredible person in the world at that thing. But if you know how to do something better than someone else, that makes you a teacher, really. It makes you an expert. All right, I'm going to keep going through these examples. Wedding business website DIY. And Laura, this is a good one for what you said about giving away the secrets. And, Jacqueline does the same thing. She shows people exactly how she makes cakes, but people don't buy from her. People don't have her bake for them because they don't know how. Nobody's buying out of ignorance. You can find out how very easily on YouTube. But they're buying from her because they love her style, because they don't want to do that. They want to have their wedding. Same thing here. So, Wedding Business Website DIY is this awesome course by my friend Brenda Cadman, who runs wedding business websites and Bonaccord Creative out of Vancouver, Canada. Now, she works with a lot of wedding professionals, and she's a website developer and designer. And there are a lot of wedding professionals who come to her and they want a new website or website changes, whatever the case may be, but they're just not prepared to pay what it costs to have, a developer working on your site. It's not cheap. So she created this course with the idea and with the messaging of, if you're going to do it yourself, do it right. Here is what you need to know. Don't put white font on black background in Comic Sans. It goes a lot more in depth than that, but she talks about all sorts of things that you wouldn't have thought of, like fonts, like making your website mobile friendly. And if you were intending on doing your website yourself anyways, and this course can cut that learning curve for you and can take what would have been like a 3-month job down to like a 2-week job, that's well worth it. Now, Ross Dean, who is an awesome photographer that I have worked with and has gone through my programs and is a good friend of mine, has started branching out. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water. So he started branching out, and he's been a photographer for quite a long time now. And he's decided, okay, there are some things that I am really good at doing. He's an expert in certain areas for sure, especially when compared to brand new photographers who don't know how to do these things. So he started a second business, which is all about helping photographers create better photography businesses. And this is his ebook. It's called Give, the Wedding Photographer's Guide to Crafting Epic Client Experiences. And it's all about learning how to create awesome experiences that get your clients talking about you and wanting to refer you and just remembering you long after the day. It's a very unique thing that he's good at, and he's decided to turn that into a product. So let's talk about in my business. When I first started my business, I only worked one-on-one with people, and I did love it. I absolutely did. But I did not love the lifestyle. So, like I said, for me, freedom is my driving motivation between everything I do. It's why I'm an awful employee. I assess new business opportunities on that basis of, are they going to increase or decrease my freedom? What if I randomly decide I want to move to San Diego this summer, which is exactly what I've done? Is the business I've built for myself going to support that, or is it going to hold that back? So I noticed working one-on-one with people that I was teaching people this same process over and over again. So I took this process, I tore it apart, and I spent a good amount of time actually kind of studying what it was that I was teaching people, how I could break it down into chunks of really digestible lessons, and I put it together into Book More Weddings Academy. So, Book More Weddings Academy is my flagship program. It's a 12-week course that teaches you everything you need to know about getting more inquiries and turning more of them into paying customers. It's all about your marketing and your sales. And it's great because while it's still an investment for sure, it's not as expensive as it would be if you were to work one-on-one with me and I were to take you through this and hold your hand. And then there's also the added benefit of there's an awesome group of people that have gone through and are currently going through Book More Weddings Academy. And it creates this really great, helpful community of people that you can turn to that I just wouldn't have if I was working one-on-one. My clients wouldn't have, other people that they could look to. So I also have the Inner Circle. Now, the Inner Circle is a membership-based program that combines training, support, and community. So there are a lot of things that go into it, but it's mostly a training session every month, Q&A call with me every month, a member website review every month, and then we have this member community as well. And this allows me to work with people in this structured way. So I know how much time the Inner Circle takes me to do each month. It's not a ton of time. It's nowhere near as much time as if I had, 40 people who I was working with one-on-one, because I can work with them as a group. I have an ebook and it's on my website, and it's one of those things, like I've said, that is there and can be purchased at any time and delivered at any time automatically. It doesn't rely on me. I have my Done For You marketing plan, which is really my only main kind of one-on-one service that I offer. I occasionally do one-on-one consulting and coaching with people, but I don't even have it on my Work With Me page because it's not something that I actively pursue. So this is my one-on-one, but it's still structured. So you know what the result is going to be. You have a marketing plan. And I know the way that I deliver that service. So there are systems in place. There are things that I know I need to do. And they have affiliate promotions for things like the SEO cookbook for photographers. This is a great product that I'm an affiliate for. I'm a proud affiliate for this. So when I promote Zach Prez's, I don't even want to call it an ebook because it's so much more than that. But when I promote the SEO cookbook, when sales are made on that, I get a percentage of that in commission. That's how affiliate promotions work. Let me just have a quick look at the chat here. Jacqueline, good question. Since we can Google just about anything, why would someone pay to learn? Well, look at your own behavior. I mean, we could all cobble together just about anything from the internet, but you don't get direct, do this, this, and this, don't do this, right? So you just have like a flood of information, and we're all drowning in information. So giving someone a specific path to follow has value. Giving them a community has value. Being able to offer up your personal input adds value. Like I do a Q&A call with my Inner Circle members every month. Yes, like meal planning delivery companies. We can all cook, but it's a lot nicer to just pay someone to cook it and deliver it. It's definitely convenience. So people buy solutions to problems. Maybe that problem is they get home from work and the last thing they want to do is make dinner. What is the solution to that problem? Takeout, meal delivery services, all sorts of different things, restaurants. So I want you to think about the problems that your ideal client has. Is it that they are struggling to figure out what steps they need to take to plan their wedding? They're just totally overwhelmed. You can solve that in a million different ways. So start thinking about it in terms of problems and then potential solutions to the problems. So I would just encourage you to free write on this. Just there is no bad answer. Just write down everything that comes to you when you start thinking about this. And I also want to know which of these examples that I just showed you appeals to you most. And keep in mind that this is by no means an exhaustive list of ways to earn money in your business. That is pretty much infinite if you think in terms of problems and solutions. Just take a second. God, I do not know how people who speak for long periods at a time just keep talking. I'm like guzzling water here. I don't know how radio personalities do it. They must be hooked up to an IV. Yeah, Laura, keep in mind that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So you don't have to teach people how to do something that has never been done before, because if it's never been done before, I mean, there might be a good reason for that. But I mean, people buy from certain businesses for a lot of different reasons because they develop a relationship with you. You know, the grocery store you shop at, there are reasons that you choose that one as opposed to the other one down the street. Yeah, Carol, actually, that is a good point. Carol just said lots of people think that because they can scrapbook, they can do what I do. And that gives you the perfect opportunity to swoop in and be the savior of those who have tried and failed their DIY projects. And they're just like, how do I do this? Help me. This is a mess. I have glue stuck on my fingers. Yeah, Janice, we'll definitely get into that. But it's really about testing your idea first of all, and then making sure that you're marketing it well. So it isn't that you just want people to show up for events. You want them to purchase tickets to events because this is another income stream. Okay. So here's some common mistakes to avoid. One, I see people do this all the time. I've done this before. It's a guaranteed recipe for disaster. Put your head down and then build something and then go try to sell it. That is the classic build it and they will come fallacy. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Another mistake, pricing too low. So just because you aren't working one-on-one with someone doesn't mean that what you're offering isn't worth something or isn't worth a medium to high price. I was talking to somebody quite a while ago who was talking about the idea of doing an ebook and selling it for like $3. Like, what's the point? Just give it away for free if you're not gonna price it at, a level that actually makes any sense for you. How many of those would you need to sell for it to make an impact? So think about the results that they get. Getting overwhelmed instead of keeping it simple and focused. Now, right now, you probably have a ton of ideas swimming through your head, but when it comes to implementing those and creating something from that, like a product or service or an app or whatever, keep it simple and keep it focused on solving that single problem that you've identified. Not setting up systems to automate things. You could sell something on your site and have the person pay, or you could even have a really shoddy payment system where you have to chase them for it. And then you have to manually deliver that to them. No, there are tons of tools to help you automate that so that you don't have to spend more of your precious time. Shooting for perfection. This one is deadly. There's no such thing as perfection. There is only improvement. So what you think is perfect today, a year from now, you're going to laugh at. So just think about getting something out to the world that solves a problem. And that this is why software companies have 1.0, then 2.0, then 3.0. It isn't because we just need something new to sell. It's because they're learning from what they put out there and what people have said back to them. And they're making those changes and releasing it. Again, software companies are excellent at really iterating as opposed to trying to shoot for, that magic bullet right off the bat. So I've got something special for you today. And it's because I've gotten so many questions about this topic, I've decided to run a special live class. And it's called Wedding Business Profits: How to Make More Money in Your Wedding Business Without Working More Hours. And it's going to teach you exactly how to build these multiple streams of income one by one in your business. So here's what you'll learn. You're going to learn how all these different income streams work and which would be a good fit for you. So a few of these we've covered, but I will give you an explanation of what each one is so you have some context. So associate income streams, that really pertains to bringing on, like I said, Sandy, the officiant who worked in like an agency model and has people that she can outsource things to. DIY income streams. So you are selling to the DIY client who isn't going to book you. Educational income streams. This could be educating the client, like how to organize your decor in a way that I can't think of anything right now. How to make sure your decor reflects your personality. Step by step, how to plan a wedding. It can also be educational to a different group. So let's say you're a photographer, and photographers are pretty fantastic at Photoshop and pretty fantastic at taking photos. So a photographer might offer a course for jewelry makers or florists or just other wedding professionals in general on how to photograph your work, how to do some basic Photoshop stuff to make it look awesome. Affiliate income streams. Like I said, with the Photographer SEO Cookbook, there are plenty of products out there that have affiliate programs, meaning that they will give you a percentage of each sale that comes from you. JV income streams, and JV stands for joint venture. This could be you and another wedding professional teaming up and creating something together, maybe a more comprehensive course. You've got passive income streams, these beautiful things that once you set them up and create them, all you really have to do is market them, and you can pretty much do most of it on autopilot. Complementary and add-on income streams. The only people you really see doing this are bridal shops, when really all of us could be doing it. There are certain things that are complementary that you could add on in order to increase the amount that you're making from each one of your clients. And you're going to learn how to determine the best income streams for each type of business and your specific business. You'll learn how to avoid overwhelm and actually decide which income stream to build first, because that can be kind of overwhelming. Like I said, testing is important, so you'll learn how to test your ideas so you don't waste time building something that no one wants. You'll learn how to go about creating your new product or service. You'll learn how to avoid the most common mistakes that people make, and you better believe I'll call you out if I see you headed in that direction. You'll learn how to find out what your audience actually wants to buy from you, because it's often different than what you assume. You learn how to automate things as much as possible to save you time, how to promote and sell your new product or service, and a whole lot more, because I'm going to be live with you answering your questions. So here's how it works. Wedding Business Profits will be available for you to sign up until March 23rd. We're going to have 2 live classes, one on March 24th, one on March 31st. Don't worry if you can't make it, they'll be recorded. And we'll have a live Q&A call on April 7th. That too will be recorded, and you can submit your questions ahead of time if you know you can't make it. You'll also get access to a members-only Facebook group so that you can ask questions, share ideas, get feedback from other people just like you who are working on this, want to improve their wedding businesses, and want to make them more sustainable without you having to put all of these hours in. Sorry, guys, I'm just having an issue with my slides here. Okay. How much is it? Well, you can join Wedding Business Profits for just $97 US dollars, but that price is only good through March 16th. On March 17th, that price is going up to $197. And I'm offering you the introductory price because this is a new program and I want to encourage you to just take action and make this decision. So let's cover what's included again. You've got the 2 live classes with me where you're going to learn about the different streams of income and how to get started in creating one for yourself. You get a Q&A call where I'll answer all of your questions. You'll get recordings of all 3 of those calls so that you can revisit them whenever you need to. I'm a big believer in lifetime access. You'll get access to a members-only Facebook group to ask questions and share ideas and get feedback from the other people going through this. And you'll get all of that for $97 if you sign up by March 16th. And really, if you implement just one of these income streams that you're going to learn about, you could be making thousands more than you're making right now. What kind of a difference would that make to you in your business and in your life? This program is going to more than pay for itself. So really, it comes down to this. Are you ready to make more money in your wedding business without driving yourself into burnout? If so, click the button below this video. You'll be able to see everything I just went over, and you'll be able to join me for Wedding Business Profits at the introductory price. So if you have a question about anything I've covered today, or anything really, just enter it in the chat box, and I'm heading over there right now to answer your questions. Okay. Laura says, I don't want to seem really negative, but I really think this has legs, but I use expensive, not everyday equipment to make my flowers. Well, you could hold a workshop in your workshop. Allow people to use your stuff and work them through it. And yes, there will be a replay of this webinar. Yeah, I love the Wedding Cake Academy. So I'm just going to grab some water, but if you have any questions at all, let me know. And I'd love to have you in Wedding Business Profits so we can get your first additional income stream up and running. Yeah, a lot of times your DIY clients will turn into your full service clients. I've definitely seen that happen. Where they're just like, okay, I know how to do this, but I don't want to anymore. So I hope you are excited about the potential that lays before you. I mean, really, you have all the options in the world to make money from your business. Okay, Laura, I might need a little bit of a bigger space than that. But that's definitely something we can work on. Yeah, you could do that. You could do it in person. There are probably some things you could do virtually. Sean, the start dates, let me go back to that slide so you guys can see that. So, Wedding Business Profits is only going to be available until March 23rd. That first call is on March 24th. But like I said, if you can't make it live, that's really no problem at all because you're going to get the recording. And the main thing is that you get the information. There will be a second call on March 31st and the Q&A call on April 7th, which you'll be able to submit any questions that you have beforehand, and I'll address them even if you're not there. And that introductory price, $97, is only available through March 16th. And I can absolutely guarantee you that that is the least I will ever offer this at. It goes up to $197 on March 17th. Claire, the terms passive income and leveraged income are often used interchangeably. I guess it kind of depends about what you're talking about specifically. Passive income meaning you don't have to put active hours into it. And really, leveraged income can very much mean the same thing. That's okay, Sean. You definitely don't have to be there for the live call. You can listen to the replay. I know what a pain in the ass jet lag can be. Claire, I think workshops could work really well. I mean, you could do them in person or you could even do them online. And that expands your reach so much more than to just your local area. Like I've had people who have gone through Bookmore Weddings Academy from all over the world. It just makes it so much more accessible. Okay, let me know if you have any other questions. Like I said, this price is only going to be available through the 16th. I will never offer it again at this price, that is. And I would love to help you create your first additional income stream. Get to making some more money. Yeah, Claire, oftentimes there isn't a difference unless that person, I don't know, it's probably a blog or something you're seeing it on, makes a distinction between the two. It just allows you to solve people's problems, which is business, really, in a more leveraged way so that you're not exchanging time for money all the time, but you're still solving the problem. Yeah, online workshops are awesome. And there are a lot of different ways to do it. You know, you can do hybrids where you're doing something live and streaming it online, selling access to that. You're welcome, Jacqueline. Oh, you're welcome, Kanisha. Thank you. Awesome, Kate. I'm glad to hear that you're in. I can't wait to work with you to help you build your next income stream. I'm excited. You're right, Janice. Online workshops could just be webinars. There are definitely no shortage of ways to deliver something online. It could be just audio, it could be video. It could be a series of videos that maybe they work through themselves. Maybe they get one per week. Well, I hope that you can join me, Sean. I think it would be great. And I know once you guys start building one additional income stream and you get that off and running, you're going to want to do another one. And you'll have this. You'll be able to refer back to Wedding Business Profits anytime you need it. And the Facebook group, of course, will always be there. Jacqueline, to answer your question, can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean specifically? So I see that you've just said, does this have to be just with wedding professionals, or can you help us with finding new avenues within our current positions? Tell me what you mean by your current positions. Like, are we talking in a job or just a different, like maybe event planning, just not wedding planning? Yes, Kanisha, I will. Hey, tech can be a pain. I know how that goes. Yeah, I'll be giving you lots of resources. So there are some things that are better for delivering ebooks and getting setting up with those as opposed to setting up like a video course. Awesome. Janice, I'm focusing more on being an affiliate in this case, but I do have an affiliate program. Um, it's really not that much different. If you know how to be a good affiliate, you know pretty much how to run a good affiliate program. I use Lead Dino for mine. So Jack, you're in IT. Yeah, I think you could definitely use that. The same line of thinking, the same processes to build more income streams. Yeah, absolutely. This is the kind of thing that applies to every industry. And like you saw, Brenda, the web developer, actually created a course showing people how to DIY their websites in a way that doesn't, make it look like you DIY'd your website. Carol, yes, I will. Is there anything specific, any specific automation systems or anything that you were curious about? Yeah. Yes, Carol, I definitely will be covering, for example, how to deliver a course automatically, how to deliver an ebook automatically. Yep, there are tools that make that very, very easy. And I'm going to teach you how to test the idea before. I know we're getting a lot of questions about creating the thing because that's the exciting part, but testing it first so that you don't go through this whole process of creating an entire course or an entire ebook or planning a workshop and nobody buys. There are ways to avoid that. I've learned that the hard way, by the way. But I suppose that's all. That's how we all learn certain things. So, Carol, I'm going specifically about testing. I'm going to cover how to figure out what it is that people want you to create. So, the people that you are, already, that you've already worked with, people that you may have on your email list, social media, whatever, how to figure out what it is that they actually want from you. And it's often a fallacy that you can just take them at their word. And it's really not how human behavior works. A lot of people will say, yeah, I'm so interested in that. And then nothing happens. So I'm going to show you how to actually get them to commit to purchasing from you and put the money on the table. Awesome, Katie. Carol, the times of the calls, I'm sorry for not including that on the 24th, 31st, and 7th. So on the 24th, it is at 7 p.m. UK time, which is, sorry, I have to do my conversion on my fingers. 6, 5, 4, 3. It's 3 p.m. Eastern. On the 31st and the 7th, it's 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And the reason for the difference on that one is that UK has not changed to daylight savings time yet. So 3 p.m. Eastern, essentially. Janice, yeah, I will definitely help you with marketing the product, although that is a very big topic. So, I can't cover absolutely everything, but I can show you definitely how to get people to sign up for it, as you present it, as you present the idea. You can pre-sell them on it, and then how to really kind of continue to make sure that you're marketing it, because it's all good and well to create something, but if you don't continually market it, you're not going to get a whole lot out of it. Carol, you can actually scroll up on this page and there is a red button. If you don't see that, I'm just going to put the link address in the chat. It's evolveyourweddingbusiness.com/WBP for wedding business profits. I should do more webinars. They get me to drink a ton of water. Does anyone have any other questions? Questions, ideas, concerns, random pieces of wisdom? Okay, well, it looks like I've answered all of the questions. If something pops into your head, feel free to email me. My email is Heidi, Heidi, at evolveyourweddingbusiness.com. And I'm also going to stay in the chat here just in case anything comes to mind that you want to ask. So, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to spend some time with me. And I hope to see you inside Wedding Business Profits. Take care.